Okay, so I'm stuck at home, and my students are also stuck at home, and I've got a lesson to think about preparing for tomorrow. And believe it or not, this is no joke, tomorrow's lesson is the diffusion of disease. So, how do we get this material to the student, and how best do we use this site to reach those learning objectives for the students? So the first thing that you've got to do is get into student access and give students the access they need to navigate around the site. So if we click on that, we can open that up. We can see that on this page, we have a whole step-by-step screenshot and text instruction on how to go about student access. And it's really, really easy. Eventually, you end up with this this kind of what is it called? A sort of a key entrance for students to which you send to students, and that gives them access to the site. And that way you'll end up with your groups, and you'll be then able to set assignments, and they can get to pages that you want them to view. So as I said, this is the page that I'm going to go on. So we're going to go into diffusion of disease, and this is the page. Each page is laid out with a clear inquiry question and lesson objectives, some guidance around timings. But it's up to you to decide which activities you want them to do and where you want them to focus their time and energy and noting. But there are a whole series of activities which they can follow, which builds through to the lesson objectives, all based around the syllabus. So the first activity here is this discussion question, where students are asked to discuss why understanding disease diffusion is so important and what authorities need to understand an action in order to flatten the curve. So we've got a couple of options here. Do we go for the discussion activity? Well, you could do this. It could be that you've got teams at school and you set up the page and you set the discussion and the activity, and the students are interacting within teams. I can't go further than that because of student confidentiality. Another alternative is to use the actual facility within assignments. So once you've got a group, you can set assignments, reading assignments around pages, writing activities, discussion activities, and quizzes. So in this case, look, why is understanding disease diffusion important? So you follow the steps, you link it to the page which we're interested in, and in this case it's food and health, diffusion of disease, and you follow the steps through and send it out to the students. The students eventually will get this typo alert here. Look, why is understanding disease diffusion so important? And students can write their comments, and then they can create threads around that discussion. So within assignments, you can set written assignments, you can set reading assignments, you can set these interesting discussion assignments. So back to the page, students are asked to complete a number of activities, but at some point you're going to need to bring this to a close, and there's got to be some key takeaways for this. So you could either use your team's activity, your team's pages, or something alternative. We have a school Moodle that we're using as well to set out those kind of key takeaways. Alternatively, you could create little tutorials which summarize the points, or have these little drop-in lessons. We're doing 20-minute drop-in sessions for each of our lessons through the mornings using Teams and the video call out there. So I hope that's helpful to you, and I'm going to get away. I'm going to start planning that lesson now for tomorrow.